This is the Cruise FM Out of Tune podcast with Stacey and Curtis.
Every once in a while, I do my diligence.
It's due.
It was overdue.
It was due. Overdue diligence.
Overdue diligence.
I love that. Is that a new phrase?
I might be.
Stacey Cooper and overdue diligence.
All the time.
Yeah.
Okay. What day is it? It doesn't matter what day it is.
It doesn't matter.
It's episode 10 of the
It's
season.
podcast day every day you press play.
There you go. That's right. It's Stacey. What's your name?
It's Curtis.
Curtis. And today and I say we, but mostly you, came up with a little thing to talk about, and that is fears as a child.
Childhood fears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which maybe are different, maybe they're the same, maybe they've elaborated, maybe they've disappeared.
Well, in honor of our 10th episode, I feel like we should do fears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think you mentioned that off the top. I don't think you said it was episode 10. And that's like...
I think I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're making me question myself.
I'm scared I wasn't listening properly.
I don't want to stop this and go back, but...
I want to call you a liar after we talked about doing our diligence. Because it's like we got to hit these
Right.
marks. We got to hit these notes before we move on.
It is episode 10. It is season 2. You are Curtis. I am Stacey.
Yes.
We're talking about childhood fears.
And I'm excited. That's
I
it.
know.
We're ready to go.
Okay.
The table has been properly set for our weekly podcast.
Properly said.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, let's just start
Spitballing?
for me, looking back at being young and just, it's such a sign of the time. But I was like, one of my earliest fears I can remember is my parents dying and I would end up in an orphanage.
Ooh.
Because there was so much
That's
movies and
deep.
media about how horrible orphanages were.
Annie.
Annie.
The movie Annie.
Absolutely.
Wow. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's...
And that was always in my mind. And if I ever kind of like talked it out, I was like, you know what? I'm sure I would end up with like an aunt or an uncle.
Well-
I doubt I would. Is there even an orphanage?
I don't
in,
think
like,
that
the late
exists
80s.
anymore.
But like in the 80s, was there even an orphanage?
That's a good question. Possibly, but probably not in Saskatoon.
Probably not.
And that's...
But that is literally my earliest fear I can remember.
And is that-
being shipped away from my parents, and every time you saw a movie about orphans, it was always just the roughest go.
Oh, Hard Knock
The
Life.
roughest go, yes.
And so was it, sorry, you said, like, was it just strictly based on movies and TV that
yeah,
gave you this
I would
fear?
have
Yeah.
I didn't know any orphans. I didn't know,
You know your cousin's an orphan if
we
you don't
didn't go
behave
for-
yourself.
And then what really, really messed me up is we had, and if you're listening, Miss Lang, what are you doing reading They Cage the Animals at Night? To grade 5s.
What?
5th grade.
That's a heavy book.
I don't know what her deal was. I don't want to say she was a bad teacher because I don't really remember her teaching. I remember her being like weird in a way where she talked to us as adults.
Oh, where they were maybe jumping above, batting above the,
Yeah.
whatever you call it.
Like, and I don't want to drag her because I really, there's so much time has passed that I only remember like the weird parts.
Yeah.
But she
But I
had like a
know-
long distance relationship, and she would bring in handwritten letters this man would write her, and she would read it to the class.
Are you kidding me?
And they weren't like super steamy or anything, but it was even at grade 5 was like, why are we spending
I am
time
frowning
on this?
very hard right now because that seems inappropriate, or not inappropriate,
like,
but
they weren't dirty letters or anything, but she was just like, I got another letter, and she would read it to us, and it was like about how they like couldn't wait to see each other and all this, and it was
yeah,
like,
that's not part of the curriculum. Pretty sure grade 5.
and then she read us They Cage the Animals at Night,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that we all talk about that was like the death of our childhood.
Well, that's not like that's like it's heavy stuff.
That is an insane
and I know
book.
what kind of teacher you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where they and there's nothing wrong with like challenging your students or providing them with knowledge that might be a little bit advanced for them that starts them a step earlier or whatever. But that seems a little weird to
And
me.
that is a story of this mom that just drops her child off
Yeah.
in an orphanage and it goes to hell real
Jeez.
quick. And
Wow.
I still think about that book.
Okay.
I had it on my shelf for a long time because it stuck with me, and it's a great book. I mean, it's a great book of resilience and overcoming.
Right.
And the author passed away not even too long ago, but just the most heartbreaking shit you will ever read. And to give that to us at a 5th grade,
Yeah.
my daughter just graduated from the 5th grade, and I know how like sensitive her and her friends are, and I can't even imagine. I would be irate.
If she came home being like, "Oh, teacher read
Yeah.
the Caged Animals at Night to us," it's like, okay, meeting with the principal.
Yeah. So if you're unfamiliar, this little guy, totally unprepared for it, just gets dropped off at an orphanage, and it's like this religious, strict.
Yep.
And before bed every night, they pass out animals, like stuffed animals that they can cuddle for exactly 5 minutes, and they come back and pick them all up again. They can't sleep with them.
Yeah.
Because they cage the animals at night.
Exactly.
And my soul, it just felt the scraping right there.
Yeah.
I feel like this one might be dark, Stacey. I'm sorry. I hope you have some levity.
Well, what fears are happy? They
Yeah.
wouldn't be. These are all going to be rooted in some kind of weirdness, you know?
I feel like adult fears are kind of funny. They can be funny, but childhood fears are not.
Well, childhood fears are interesting because I just saw, well, you've seen this statement so many times that fears are taught.
Yeah.
They're learned. They're not something you're born with. The only thing you're born with for a fear is, I think, loud noises and falling. Those are the instinctual ones that you react to out of the sensation of falling or the sound of a noise. That's it. Spiders, clowns, anything like that, all taught from somebody else.
And as someone who has watched 350 Disney VHS tapes at this point in my life, one a week since 2019, pre-COVID, my daughter and I have watched one Disney VHS tape a week.
Shout out your YouTube channel.
Mermoose Media, it's all on there.
Okay.
Not promoted because I'm not really like it's
No,
not monetized. I don't care.
But it's there.
But it's there. It's something my daughter and I have been doing. And the Rescuers movie, again,
Yeah.
super dark. I don't think people realize how dark that was. And again, orphan, she gets kidnapped because she's small enough to stick down a hole.
Right.
And they're like, don't come up till you get the ruby.
And
And the water's like the
Yeah.
tide's coming in. And I'm like, this is what happens to every single orphan.
Yeah.
She didn't do anything. Her parents died.
what's that dinosaur one? Land Before Time.
Land Before Time.
Another sad one. Very dark. Like actually animated colors. Dark.
Dark.
Why? And this goes back to you talking about orphanages, but even like the death of parents, every Disney movie almost back
Yeah.
then when we were younger, someone was dying.
Absolutely. It was a little more, not quite, like everybody talks about the parents dying in Disney movies, but that's very rarely like the focus of the story. It's
No.
just to set up the adventure.
But it starts the movies
Sure.
a lot of times.
But it sets up the adventure, and it's not
True.
these characters sitting at home being like, oh God, who am I
Now
going to end
what?
up with?
yeah.
You know, am I going to end up with, because back in the day, again, movies would have me believe that all these places would take in orphans because they got like a paycheck out of it.
Right.
And then they would mistreat the orphans.
Yeah.
And spend the money on themselves. And again, I don't know how realistic that was. There's probably some merit to that at some point. but
Probably.
that messed with me as a young age. Between Rescuers, they cage the animals at night. Shout out Miss Lang.
Yeah.
And Annie.
Thank goodness
Gals-
for the music in that movie.
Gal's hanging off the bridge at one point. Like, can it get worse than that? Can it get worse than that?
Oh, man.
Annie, yeah, Hard Knock Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turned it all around.
She did.
So I'm glad and even like there was a point when I was really young and my parents would go for a walk at night. And if they went longer than usual, I was like, uh-oh,
Here we go.
here we go.
It's happening.
Let's cage the animals at night. I'm gonna pack up my bag and get ready to be like giving black eyes and stuff when I'm just ready. I'm ready. And the thing is, I was an
I've been
ugly
preparing
kid
my
too.
whole life for this.
I was an ugly kid too, right? So there was that too, where it was like
Oh,
Annie
Curtis.
was cute. The girl from the Rescuers was cute as a button. I'm like,
Right.
it went south for
and then
those
there's
two.
Curtis.
It went south for those two. What chance do I have? Like,
You cut your hair in permanent. That's what you do.
right? Little ring.
Or dress like a
little
mouse.
Dress like There.
Okay, so that's fear number one.
Yeah. I don't feel as good as I thought I would getting that off my chest. This is stuff I never talk about, so it's going to be weird.
It is weird.
'Cause I got a doozy coming up later too.
Oh, great.
Sorry. Heads up.
Okay.
Stacey.
My first one.
I don't like clowns.
Oh, clown.
You're going to make me look like a chump.
No, I'm not traumatized by clowns, but I am traumatized by spiders. And I know this is one too that is like almost like a societal one, right?
Sure.
Arachnophobia. It just seems to be one of those like stereotypical fears. But here's the thing: my parents, when they got married, moved into a 2 bedroom house. I was upstairs with them. They started refinishing the basement. My brother was born. And obviously, brother gets the room upstairs. Stacy gets sent to the basement. And I remember them renovating the basement, and I got to pick out my wallpaper. And my dad built me a waterbed, a single waterbed.
Wow.
So strange. I don't know if I've ever come across a single waterbed in my
He
life.
customized that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Dad.
Yeah, he's a carpenter, woodworker, craftsman of all kinds. So it was, I think to sort of lessen the blow of me sleeping in the basement. It was like trying to make it super exciting. And so being that it was the basement, and I know not all homes with basements have bugs, but good night, this one sure did. And I would find them crawling up my wall. I remember in the corner of where the baseboards meet, there's just like enough space for obviously insects to crawl through. And I was in my room playing, and I just remember looking over at that little space, and a spider crawled through. I saw it happen before my eyes. And these spiders are probably going to be like those... is it a wolf spider? That sounds really terrible and scary. Where's my mouse? Here we go. I just want to try and paint the picture.
Sure.
Because it wasn't like a daddy long legs.
Yeah. There's definitely
it's a wolf
there's
spider.
a leg to body ratio. The bigger the body, the smaller the legs, the scarier.
I think so, yeah. And so these wolf spiders, I don't think they're super harmful, but they're just disgusting and gross and in my space and freaked me out. And so I remember after seeing it come through that hole, I put tape over it. And then I got in trouble for putting tape on the baseboards because I wouldn't want to strip the varnish off the baseboards.
Well, meet me halfway here, Dad.
Honestly, I'm just trying to prevent myself from getting eaten by a spider. Right. And so, I put tape over the hole. Dad pulled it off. And so in addition to, as well, just spiders, there were centipedes.
Yep.
There were those little flat dudes that have tiny, tiny little legs. They're called silverfish or something, or there's a whole bunch of names for every insect.
There's mealy bugs.
Maybe that's what it was. And so for me, it was just the floor in my bedroom was scary to me because that's where the bugs, in my mind, I didn't, maybe realize that insects can crawl all over the place. But for me, it was the floor that I was scared of because that's usually where I saw the bugs, unless it was like climbing up my wall. But I didn't make a connection of them possibly crawling on me. But it was just the bugs in general. And anytime I see a bug out in nature, I am not one of those people. I will step on it immediately. Don't give me that crap about
drop that elbow.
Put it on the paper and take it outside. No. Kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it. It doesn't belong here. It belongs outside. Yeah. I'm sorry. I draw the line there. I can't handle it. And I just feel like I had so much in that room. And then there was one time, I don't know what kind of spider this was. I don't know why it was in my room. Curtis, I kid you not, the body on this thing was probably as big as my thumbnail. And long legs. I wonder if it was an orb spider.
Burn the whole house down.
Honestly. Like, I lost my absolute crap. I had to call my dad, scream for my dad.
Yeah.
And he came and dealt with it. And I was like, what kind of spider was that? And Dad didn't know what it was, but it was so freaking big. That was the icing on the cake for my solidification of spider fears.
I have a very small version of that story, actually. In high school, I moved myself downstairs. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was great.
And once you get older it is. But when you're 4, I was 4.
4?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
I know.
And the spiders did come out. Mm-hmm. And I've never really had a problem with spiders. And then one night I woke up and it was like on my, I don't know if it was my pillow or my, but it was in my facial area. I think it was just like below me on my bedspread. And then I got into my head. And even when I woke up, I was like, oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
But then as the day went on, I was getting like the heart rate was coming up.
Ruminating on it.
And somebody, it was probably my mean sister, was like, well, yeah, remember, you swallow spiders in your sleep.
Well, yeah, that's also a crock of crap.
I know. But I went out with my newspaper delivery money, and I bought like insecticide. and I sprayed the whole, like the baseboards of the whole basement.
Yeah.
And I overdid it because I think I was woozy.
Gas yourself out?
And then I came upstairs and my mom was like, yeah, I think you like look at the cat, Curtis. And the cat was like laying on its side
Oh
wheezing.
my God,
And
Curtis.
I have no regrets because the spider thing ended after that. It wasn't really,
Can I just tell you?
they stayed away. And yeah.
Well, yeah, and
If
that's the
cats
thing.
got to die so I don't eat spiders in my sleep, I mean, that's
Sorry, Fluffy.
sorry.
Nice
Sorry,
knowing ya.
Tabby. You'll be fine.
My uncle Jake, shout out Uncle Jake, was he worked in pest control for his entire career. And as an adult, when I moved into a basement suite, it was a raised basement suite, it had big windows, but it was still in the basement. The insects in that place were insane. And so he gave me some of these, which is the actual probably best way to deal with that kind of situation. It's a sticky piece of paper. You peel off the protective so it's sticky, and then you fold the two sides over and it becomes a triangle tube, and you lay that parallel to the wall. And so insects want to stay close to the edges, close to the walls. You put it behind your bed, you put it behind a dresser. And my uncle gave me these sticky things, so I put it in our basement suite. And I laid them behind stuff against the wall, on my merry way. And then at some point I was like, oh, I should probably go check those traps. Holy shit, Curtis. They were, I use the word teeming, although teeming I think is when something's alive. There were so many dead bugs on that thing. I could not, it made me so sick to know that those were previously roaming around my place the whole time while I'm sleeping. Now I've caught them and killed them, thank God. But that's the best thing for insects is the sticky traps, I have to say, because you can put them out of sight. You're not going to gas your cat.
Yeah.
But then you do have to look at it when you throw it in the garbage, and it's like dry heaves.
Is it better not knowing that volume existed?
I don't know. That's a very, but no, I feel better knowing that I've killed them.
But did it slow down? Like, was it that volume every night? And you're like, I give up.
No, it wasn't every night. It was like weeks that went by. Oh, God. So, yeah, spiders are top of, and like anything quick moving, let's face it.
Sure.
That would be in a basement is my fear.
At the Outskirts Music Festival on Friday, I found out coworker Caitlin was also terrified of spiders.
Mm-hmm. I don't know many people that are like, yeah, I'm fine. Like
My daughter.
Really?
She loves spiders. She will just pick it up and throw it outside.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And I tried. I knew about the whole fear being learned and taught. So I tried really hard with my daughter when it comes to things like creepy crawlies. But when the mom is so scared, it's really hard to break that cycle.
Fair.
And not make your child scared of them as well.
Fair.
So.
Were you scared of, like, stranger danger, I guess? Again, my friends and I in elementary school, we would have sleepovers and sneak out and roam the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And never once did we think something bad could happen to us. Never once.
No.
Was that a sign of the time? Was that 80s kids just roaming?
Yes.
All day, every day?
The freedom we had was amazing, and it's not going to be like that ever again.
No.
But kids were definitely getting kidnapped and stuff like that. It's just that I don't know. When did the milk carton stuff happen? When kids started showing up, like missing kids on milk cartons?
That was mid to late 80s, probably.
When did kids get put on milk cartons? Do you remember the movie I Know My Name is Steven?
I know of it. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen it.
In the early 80s, the practice started in Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah. And I feel like it's because of, oh no, it's from Johnny Gosh. I Know My Name is Steven. This boy got kidnapped, but kept alive.
Yeah.
And the man renamed him and raised him as his son and kidnapped another boy and raised these two boys as his own. And I thought that was the beginning of the milk carton stuff. And I remember watching that made-for-TV movie with my mom and just being like, oh my gosh.
God.
But I was not a roaming the neighborhood kind of kid. But at the same time, I didn't necessarily have a kidnapping fear.
No.
I don't think I did.
None of us did. That was not something, we were aware people got kidnapped. But I don't remember my parents ever being like, oh yeah, like here's what you do if you're ever in that situation. You know, the whole like cause a scene because if they take you somewhere, it's going to be where no one's around. So you have one chance to get away.
Block parents sign. Remember block parents? That was a thing too. Look for the sign in the window. If you see it, you're safe there or whatever.
And now Like, I could not have a more 180. I was actually talking to my daughter about this last night because it's summer and she's roaming with the, you know, she can bike to her friend's house.
Yeah.
And so I just had that moment of like, we should just go over this one more time of
Yeah.
like, what happens if someone's like, hey, you want to see some kittens in my car? And she's old. She knows this stuff, you know?
Right. But you know what?
I was like, I'm going to just revisit.
100%.
And she was like, yeah, of course, Dad.
And the thing is, too, though, it's not necessary. Like, that was the stereotypical looking for, and maybe it's probably still used, but there are so many other ways that somebody can take advantage of a young person.
Yeah.
That you need to almost like the online, the neighbor's dad or the neighbor's brother, you know, like, it's overwhelming, but it's
Sure.
valid.
And then it felt like I got hit by a truck because she was like, she wasn't mad, but she's like, yeah, Dad, like, I know, I get it, I'm good. And then she goes, why would someone want to kidnap me anyway? I was
And
I
that's
was
the
looking
thing.
around and my wife wasn't in the room. I was like,
Because you're cute, and that's a whole.
Right?
That's a whole.
I had no move, Stacy. I froze.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just, because we were on our way out to the trampoline. I'm like, this is not the night.
No, not tonight.
This is not tonight. It's
No.
like first day of summer.
Anyway,
So yeah,
okay.
that's an adult fear. Your kids, obviously.
Oh, geez, that's an instinctual.
But it's weird because I feel like kids today have that fear where we never had that fear.
Well, and that's because now we hear and know and see about everything.
Yeah.
There's no detail that's left that's not talked about.
Yeah.
We know exactly what happens. It is terrible. I feel, though, that we're making a bit of a change in that with the science that we have and the smarts that we have, that maybe I'd be interested to see if statistics for kidnapping are down. They'd
have to be. There's
would have to
cameras
be.
everywhere.
Cameras and science and CSI and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
forensics, that make it harder. And yet you'd think it'd be hard. Like, people are still killing people, but we can find murderers much better.
But they're dumb about it, and they think they're smart about it, but they're not. Like, you can't get away from science in 2026. I listen to so many true crime podcasts, and people just turn their cell phones off so they don't ping at cell phone towers. And it's like, well, yeah, you turned your cell phone off for the 4 hours where the murder happened. Like,
Yeah.
that makes you look just as guilty as if your cell phone was pinging in the area where the murder happened. Like,
Well, exactly.
yeah.
Kidnapping statistics over the last 40 years reveal that while over 78% of abductions involve parents or relatives, stranger abductions are extremely rare, averaging fewer than 350 cases annually in the U.S.
Yeah, that's low.
Yeah, but it doesn't say by the mid 80s. Parental snatchings, 20. It doesn't give me the proper breakdown I'm
deets.
looking for. But regardless, yeah, I feel like that's something that we don't necessarily need to worry about, but we still do.
Yeah.
Because we're parents. We've
Yeah.
got children that are important and we love them and we don't want anything to happen to them. So, valid instinctual fear.
And I know our parents loved us as well, but that was really, it was like,
It was a different time.
yeah, I was like, don't go with strangers, but also I don't want to see you till it's dark.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you stay out of this house, but also don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
What else you got, Stacey?
Okay, a second on the list, and this maybe goes, I guess, different in conjunction maybe with your kidnapping. Mine was break and enter, and things happening to me as a person. Sleeping.
This is where you were young?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was young. Oh no. It wasn't so much the break and enter. It was more when I became like probably aware of sexual assault.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like, my fear was that somebody's going to break into my house and take advantage of me. And that was absolutely terrifying. I slept in the basement
Yeah.
from the age of 4. And so when I was a teenager, I was in the 4th level of my parents' 4-level split.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's up on the top floor and I'm in the basement. And I was just absolutely petrified of summertime, because summertime is when the weather's nice and all the bad people are out because it's not cold. I felt safer in the winter, which was weird. I would hear the Crime Stoppers ads on the radio when I listened to them. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Because I got
Yeah.
extra freaked out because there'd be a rash of basement break-ins. And that fear still exists with me now. Like, I'm in a 3rd floor apartment. I feel relatively safe. But at the same time, your brain gets away from you and you're like, well, what if this happens?
Yeah.
And that's a gross fear. And it's with me all the time.
It's hard to talk about as a man
I
without
know.
sounding pandering. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's not It's not something we
It's
worry
not
about.
something you worry about.
And that's it's obviously unfair. And you're trying to think like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, personally, if I'm walking behind a girl at night, I'll just cross the street. I'm like, you don't need this.
Because you're a gentleman.
You don't. Well, but seriously.
No, but you've
and that's
made-
something you never thought about as a guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm walking 10 feet behind this girl at night, and I'm in my own, I've got my listening to whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't realize that this is probably actually freaking her out because I'm essentially following her, but we're just going the same direction.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make the effort to stop this.
Even for me, because I leave for work so early in the morning, it's pitch black in the fall, winter, whatever, even in the, starting to get darker right now. When I leave my apartment building and walk to my car, there's that stretch of
Yeah.
time too where I'm like, well, what if somebody saw me leave one day? And this is what I think.
Sure.
That they've tracked me and they know that I leave at the same time every morning and they're going to be waiting for me this day. And so I do the keys between my hands and quick step to the car and then I'm good because I'm in my car. So
that sucks.
it's-
And I'm sorry.
yeah,
But that's,
it is a really shitty thing to have be in the back of your brain all the time.
and again, this sounds so pandering, but I don't know if I've told this story on the cast before. I think I may have. I was working for one of the production companies. We were shooting the whatever, every 4 years they have a giant track meet at the field house. I think it's at a high school or university level.
Right.
And I was working there, and for whatever reason, we had these high value items on Marketplace. And that day, I had like 3 people who wanted to buy, because usually I sell stuff that's like 20, 50, 70 bucks. People wanted to buy these 2 items that were like $1,000. These like rare electronics. So I threw them in the car.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, come meet me at the field house at my car between this time and this time. And I sold like 3 giant items. It was like almost $3,000
Yeah.
of cash in my pocket. And it was a Thursday because I had to go from there to eat real quick to come here and record full volume at at like 10:30 at night. And the whole time I'm walking around with $3,000 in my pocket, and I can't take it. I can't get home because I'm on such a tight schedule.
Yeah.
So I am like not parking in the alley. Like I'm parking far away under a street lamp. I am like got my hands in my pockets. I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm crossing the street when there's people coming. And I'm like, this is what it's like.
Yeah. That little
is
fear.
what it's like.
The constant
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I'm terrified constantly. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Not parking next to the van. Like,
Yeah.
but for real, I was like, this is what it's like
Yeah.
for you ladies
It's weird.
to have that in your head all the time.
Yeah. And it's not like, it's obviously not just like walking down the street during the day. It does usually coincide with like nighttime, alone,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, vulnerability.
And I still think that is why women love true crime and true crime podcasts.
Makes you
'Cause
feel,
you're like justified to live that way.
Yeah.
You're like, this is what happens. This is why you have to be diligent.
well, and you also like, there's been discussions on this subject a lot. It's like, why do women love true crime so much? And it is almost like we're bulking ourselves up with as much information as we possibly can.
Yeah.
All these crazy scenarios where you're like, okay, if that ever happened to me, and it sounds crazy to also feed your fear with these kind of shows because they're all terrible. Like they're, people preying on other people and in some cases women and horrible things happening, but you still just want to get as much knowledge as you possibly can, in my opinion. And it's also just fascinating because you see inside the brain of a messed up individual.
Well, and it gives you moves.
Yeah.
Because they're like, here was the window of opportunity that she didn't take. And
Yeah.
you're like, noted.
Exactly.
Noted.
Yeah.
And you
it's
talk to the survivors and they're like, I should have done this. And you're like, noted.
100%.
So, yeah.
So it's almost like preventative maintenance.
Sure.
By watching a ton of true crime shows.
So guys, don't be like, think about it.
Yeah.
don't be creepy. Even though you're not
Exactly.
trying to be creepy, like the walking behind someone, just don't.
Yeah. And
Just-
crossing the street is like a nice gesture
Yeah.
of, I get you. I don't
Yep.
worry. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after that depressing little note,
I can go, okay.
you want to take it further?
I'm going to take it further. I don't even know if I've told my wife this story, okay?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know if I've told anybody this story. Really.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is going to be, we'll see how this goes. Okay.
I'm scared.
I was terrified to fly.
Okay.
because I had a reoccurring dream in my childhood of going down in a plane crash.
Ooh,
And
reoccurring.
I don't know, it must have just been from movies because I'd never been on a plane. I didn't fly till I was in my late 20s because I had this dream where I was in an airplane and then like, it sounds funny, but like a siren was going off because again, I didn't know what that looked or felt like.
Right.
But we were in a plane and the siren was going off and you could tell it was going down and I would just like clench my eyes and then there would be silence. And my eyes were still closed, Stacey.
When you woke up?
I was still in the dream, but it was complete silence. And then I would hear like movement and almost like sniffing around me. And I was too afraid to open my eyes, Stacey, because I was like, I don't think I'm in the good place.
Ugh.
And I had it so much that I would remember at that last kind of moment
Yeah.
where I was too afraid to open my eyes and the silence and the weird noises that I knew it was coming to an end.
Yeah.
Like I had that, so I would ride it out. But oh my God, that scared me. I had that
Wow.
for years. And then my first plane ride, shout out Simon Hyatt, because it was through work.
Oh, okay.
It was, I've told that story before where they sent us to Costa Mesa to do a bunch of stories on the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't selling here. So they sent us to Costa Mesa where it was the last stop before it came to Saskatoon. They're like, go do a whole bunch of stories, bring it back here, let's get the hype up. And I brought Simon Hyatt with me as my camera guy. And I know he was also like a seasoned, he flew all the time.
Yeah.
So he was a good person to have. And man, I was like practically on his lap during the first flight.
Oh,
I was
man.
like medicated and the medication wasn't doing much. And that man literally like held my hand through my first flight. So shout out Simon Hyatt because
That's nice.
I didn't want to be the guy that turned this incredible opportunity down.
Fair enough.
Like if TCU Place came to you and were like, hey, Stacey, we're flying you to California for a week
right?
for free.
Please don't ruin this, Stacey.
I know you're scared of flying, but that's if there's ever going to be a time to rip off the Band-Aid, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reoccurring dreams are another, like, it's not necessarily a fear, but that's something else to like think about when your body repeatedly takes you down this road. Why?
Yeah.
Like I'm a big dream person. I have
Yeah.
lots of dreams. I remember them. I love telling people about them. My family hates hearing about them because when I was younger, I was like, oh, guess what I dreamt last night? And they'd be like, what? So reoccurring dreams, and especially something scary like that.
That's pretty dark. And as I got older and flew, like once I started flying, I never had it again.
Yeah,
I got rid
because
of
you
it.
got the
I
actual
overcame
realization.
the fear.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no weird like siren when there's turbulence. And I guess I'm just like not afraid to die anymore.
And there's that.
But,
That's a whole nother topic.
But yeah, it's weird that it just suddenly went away. And now again that I'm an adult, I'm like, well, my brain is just so busy all the time.
I also think too that we're talking about primarily childhood-ish
Yeah.
fears. Some of them are very irrational, and
Yeah.
we've grown past them. We've grown out of them. We make a realization that it's not actually like that. And I know that a spider is not going to hurt me, right? But like you do sometimes rationalize your fears, and they don't become as intense or as troubling to you. So you're flying one, right? You had a preconceived notion of what it might be like. The reoccurring dreams were terrible. But then once you experience it, you're like, oh, okay. I know the risk is still there, but there's a risk of me driving on the highways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you rationalize things and kind of calm yourself down.
But as an adult now, and I know how my brain works, and again, I don't want to sound like this arrogant jerk, but like I'm just like thinking of things all the time in my little creative brain, and it always goes from like 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to. So I could see as a kid, if I was a little afraid of flying, I could see how that manifested into
100%.
something 6 levels beyond what it needed to be.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of how my brain works,
Yeah.
and I guess that's how I wrote a book and stuff. So it's good with the bad, right?
Exactly.
And that wasn't a humble brag.
Our brains,
Honestly,
but our brains can be our worst enemies as well. You
Yeah.
know, if you do tend to be somebody who thinks past the moment or, gets anxious and stuff, oh my God, that can turn into a spiral in no time.
Yeah. So as an anxious kid, it didn't do me any favors. But as an adult, hey man, I love my brain. I love being creative.
I
love
know.
thinking 7 steps past the normal person.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if spiders breaking and entering, blah, 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 blah. I didn't have a fear of flying. I don't know. I feel like I wrote down my dad because I was very fear, not scared of, but like my dad was such an authority figure in my life. We grew up in a very strict household.
Sure.
And so I did have like a bit of a, you know,
Yeah.
only when I did something wrong. So I don't know if that's really one of them, but I just know that like my dad was the man who he gave us the spankings,
The
right?
enforcer.
The enforcer.
Yeah.
And so respect for my parents was like through the roof. Anytime I went to a friend's house and I saw them like disobeying or talking back to their parents, I could not believe it.
Yeah.
Had I done that to my parents, I would have been,
Especially in front of friends.
oh my God, yes. Like, and my family was never one to argue in front of anybody. And it seemed like growing up for me, the friends that I had, I was part of the family.
Yeah.
Which I'm so grateful for, and I love that. But being part of the family, you were there for the fights.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is foreign to me, and I don't like this, but I'm just going to go to the washroom. So there was a little bit of fear for my dad as well, but not to the extent of like what we're talking about, like, ah! But just that kind of, you know, looming father figure, definitely a factor.
It's fascinating to think that people were like, oh, I'm not going to let my kids watch horror movies because they think they're going to be scared of a Jason or a Freddy Krueger. But I don't know anybody who actually was, you know?
Like the boogeyman.
Yeah, like I don't know anybody who was actually scared of the boogeyman. They were afraid of people breaking into your house. I was never afraid of being like assaulted, obviously. But
do you
I was
mean, like,
afraid of like being tied up or something like
fantastical sort of
sure, yeah.
figures, like somebody, you know, Freddy Krueger is fake.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Spoiler alert. he's
Spoiler.
fake. But there is still like the fear of the situation, not necessarily the character.
Yeah, like I know people who are afraid of someone coming through their window, more of like a mythical creature coming through their closet.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I just remembered. Or did you have another one?
No, and I just my point was it's funny that people like, oh, you can't watch horror movies because you're going to be scared.
Yeah.
But that was never ever once what actually made me scared. Even like running around through the forest at night, I was like, well, who would do that?
Yeah.
You know. But then you'd see someone like, you know, break in through a window, like just someone with a knife, and you're like, oh my God,
It's real.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah.
I did have, and I don't want, it wasn't monsters, but for some reason, it was like coyotes and wolves. I had a weird fear of, and I don't know what it would have stemmed from, if it was a particular incident or if it was, again, like, who knows, maybe, you know how in Disney movies, I think Beauty and the Beast is one where like the wolves are chasing her and the eyes are glowing.
Yeah.
I had this dream. For me, it was almost, I know I dreamt about it more than once. I don't want to say it was reoccurring, but I had the same kind of dream quite a few times. I did a ton of babysitting when I was younger, and I remember babysitting for the neighbor boys. There was two of them, and I knew their house. They had a sweet sunken living room with blue carpet. Oh my God. It was so cool. But in this dream, I'm babysitting for them. It is nighttime, pitch black outside. I'm in the kitchen, and I can still picture the yellow curtains, the oak cabinets, whatever. And I'm at the sink, and I look outside, and all I can see in the yard are eyes of these, you know, coyotes, wolves, whatever they happen to be, which was just like absolutely terrifying. And yet I was locked in the house, safe in the house.
Yeah.
But the looming fear of darkness for me was huge. I slept with a light on till I was probably like 20 years old. I had to have a radio on because the basement sleeping made me very scared. And I remember turning off my bedroom light and like jumping from the light switch into my bed so I didn't have to touch the floor, because the fear of somebody grabbing or something biting my ankles was big.
Sure.
That
and
was-
you can beat the light.
Of
I
course you
respect
can. You're
that.
so fast.
So
Or like
fast.
running up the stairs after you've shut the basement lights off and just booting it up
Yep.
there because something's going to grab you,
Yeah.
which is very irrational. And I have since gotten past that, obviously. But at the time, it was such a valid fear.
Sure.
Like coyotes, man, wolves, very scary.
You wake up in the night, you're like, I have to go to the bathroom, but how badly do I have to go to the bathroom?
Geez, right? Dad, can you come carry me to the
Carry
bathroom?
me. Come turn the light on. Yeah. I was an insomniac as a kid too, which didn't help. But that wasn't really a fear. I just couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And even to this day, where you say like you kept the light on until you were 20, I still need to fall asleep watching something.
Oh, do you?
I remember getting a laptop probably 2002, 3, and I was watching a movie in bed one night and I fell asleep and I woke up. I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't even remember sitting there, laying there with my own thoughts because I had a distraction. Mm-hmm. And ever since on my phone, I fall asleep so wonderfully now. Like, that literally was like cure for insomnia. Was to just
Really?
be distracted, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, because our brain, back to being the worst enemy,
Yeah.
I've gone through phases of life where difficult stuff is happening, and the minute your head hits the pillow, all you want is to sleep. But instead, your brain's like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Here's what's happening in your life. Here's what is significantly causing
Yeah.
issues, and let's run through them all for
Remember
you
when
right
you
now.
said that stupid thing in the 6th grade?
Honestly,
It all comes back. It all comes back
it
for
all
me.
comes back, and you just, and even for me, it's like things I have to, not existential things of like my life, oh, what about it, but it's just like, oh, this has to happen tomorrow, this
Yep.
has to happen tomorrow.
Yep.
And
It's so hard to turn that off as an adult. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many times I've watched Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt just over and over. Like
I remember
the
that
the
show.
first 5 minutes of every episode falling
but
asleep.
you know what, and that is the thing, is it gives you a distraction from your own brain, and if that's what works for you, do it. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
If it helps for you to have, magnesium or CBD or whatever, we need the sleep so badly.
Jägermeister also helps, and I say that
It's medicinal, man.
I say that with like, I don't have a problem, but there's some nights where I'm just like really wound up and it's midnight and I'm not even tired. Like, you know what? I'm gonna have me a little
sippy sip.
a little sippy sip.
My bestie uses it as legit stomach settling medicine.
Thank you, Jägermeister.
Yes.
Yes.
She is almost the same as in like
I
little upset stomach, or she's kind of got like some gluten
Sure.
related issues, and it settles her stomach for her. And so for us, it's not even like, let's do a shot. She's like, gotta take my medicine.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Because I do that all the time when I pull it out at home. I'm like, oh, I feel like there's a cold coming on, so I'm gonna have some Jägermeister, because I swear I read in some Reddit thread that it started out they were trying to make cough medicine.
Well,
And so every time I'm like, I'm going to take my medicine. My wife's like, yeah, it's not medicine.
It
and I'm like, let me
is-
have this, Kaja.
It is and was Jägermeister history. It was originally developed in 1934 in Germany by Kurt Mast, the son of a vinegar maker, originally marketed as a medicinal tonic and digestif. The iconic liquor contains a closely guarded secret blend of 56 herbs, roots, fruits, and spices. And so back then, elixirs and stuff
yeah,
like that,
he's 44 up on the kernel.
right? And
If that's quick
so
math, yeah.
Very quick little sidebar. When you think of Jägermeister, some people, it's like a love-hate, kind of like
Oh, for
Ouzo,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
I love Ouzo because I like black licorice. Jägermeister is such a unique taste. And because I enjoy it, my bestie enjoys it, I was like, are there any other drinks you can make with Jägermeister? And I saw, it must have been the algorithm listening to my brain. What drinks?
I just have
Because
big shot of it.
yeah, and it's
And it
totally
doesn't,
sippable.
it's like a weird good burn.
It's great.
lot of-
I wouldn't even think it's a burn. It's so
A lot of it
sweet.
just makes me go, "Ugh," makes your neck disappear when you do a shot. But that
Yeah.
one just like mellows me.
Jägermeister goes far beyond the classic Red Bull bomb.
I don't know about that.
Jäger and Red Bull. Yuck. There's one called the Route 56. Jägermeister, ginger beer, lime, and cucumber. The
Hey, now.
Jägerita. Jäg, lime juice, Cointreau simple syrup with some soda if you wish. A Jägermeister old fashioned. A Surfer on acid. Jäg, coconut rum, and pineapple. See, it's just always been a shot for me.
This is fancy stuff. This is like what a Stacey Cooper and
Happy hour.
her decision to cook and bake properly with the ingredients. That's your stuff.
And you know what's crazy is
I'm like, I want to go to sleep. Do your
Yeah.
thing, Jägermeister.
And I'm like, how can we make this more fancy? I feel like I'm going to try. I have some Yag at home right now. I feel like I need to try and I have ginger beer in the fridge right here. I'm taking some.
This is your afternoon.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. A Route 56. Okay. How do we go from childhood fears to Jägermeister?
As we always do.
As we always do,
Just from A to B to C.
right?
Organically.
Well, let's put our fears to bed for this episode. And It feels good to get them off our chest. Maybe someone's
Yeah.
listening and they're like, oh my God, me too.
Your takeaway is never read They Cage the Animals at Night to someone in the 5th grade. Oh my God.
There you go.
Yeah. Like I to reiterate, we get together, my childhood elementary school friends, and we're like, that is the moment. That was what killed our childhood
Everything
innocence.
changed.
For
Yeah.
real. After that book, we were like,
And do
well,
you think
the world's a dark place.
Mrs. Lang
Yeah.
knows how she affected you?
I don't know. Again, different times. But even in the late 80s, that's not cool, man. That is way too much to put on a 10-year-old brain.
Yeah, and you can have an effect on a student. Well, I always remember my teacher from whatever. She was such a great teacher. But you have multiple people in your life, in your class, your friends who are like, yeah, not cool.
Yeah.
Change things for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's walking around and having known that she affected you so much. It's just crazy to me. Like, what a weird thing that she has no clue.
My friend's daughter said it was part of the curriculum in like the 10th grade. And even then, some kids were like, I'm out.
Yeah.
This isn't
That's
for
a
me.
high school book for sure.
Oh.
Weird. Anyway,
okay.
Shout out to Mrs. Lang.
Yeah, I don't know what your deal is. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know if she's still with us.
Guess what, though?
I don't remember much about her except being 10 and being like, this is weird for a teacher. This is very weird for a teacher.
She was
These are
probably
weird
like
actions.
28, and she's probably definitely still alive.
Probably. Maybe she's listening.
Because when you're younger,
We
you
need
have
to
such
have
a...
you on. I need to ask you questions on behalf of the Prince Philip Elementary School. Why
Yeah?
would you do that? Why did you hate us? Why couldn't you have just...
Why did you ruin our lives?
Why couldn't you have just read "Oh, the Places You'll Go" by Dr. Seuss?
Or Bridget Terabitha.
You know?
Bridget Terabitha.
Yeah.
Whatever that
Maybe
one
I'd be a
was.
CEO right now.
Hey,
Not on the radio.
what could have been? I smell a class action lawsuit.
Right?
Anyway,
But I mean, I grew up and wrote a really dark, disturbing book of my own. So I mean, maybe I should be
you
thanking
should
Miss
be
Lang.
thanking
Thank
her.
Miss Lang for putting the rot in my brain
There
of
you
human
go.
misery and how horrible people treat each other.
thank
you for that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for making things a little darker in my brain.
Maybe it helped.
Hey, we got to real quick. We're bringing this back around, Stacey. That was so dark.
That was
so dark. That's not
crazy.
what this was supposed to be. This podcast,
Well,
but
fears have to be dark.
Sure.
Again, they're not going to be like, I'm scared of cotton candy.
well, some are. You know, I met a girl who's like, I'm scared that there's going to be a shark in a swimming pool, and I'm like, you dumb bitch. What are you? What are we even
You
talking about?
idiot.
And
That's
so,
stupid.
You know, like, let's tell each other our fears. And she says that, and I'm like, well, I'm going to put the old dying in a plane crash and waking up in hell in the back pocket. I'm just going to say clowns. You know,
Spiders.
I guess spiders.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, that concludes episode 10, season 2 of the Out of Tune podcast.
I'm going to come up with like the funnest thing next week. Okay,
I
we're going to
think
have
we-
we're going to claw ourselves out of the darkness.
We need to go.
Thanks for staying with us, listeners.
laughing.
We're going to go, yes.
Yes.
Maybe the funniest moments, the hardest we've ever laughed.
Oh, I don't know
funniest-
if I can tell those stories.
Oh, Stacey, I know they all have to do with your time in England, and I want to hear them. We're just going to do one and just rated whatever. This is the Stacey experience.
Oh, you know what we could do for next week
'Kay.
is like I've got so many stories of things I did looking back that you're like, why did I do that and how am I still here? Do you have any of those?
Like near-death experiences or just like bad calls?
Bad calls. Bad calls.
Sure.
I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that can be,
Hilarious situations.
let's make them funny.
Hilarious situations.
Yeah, I got a couple of doozies, and it is involved in my time overseas. So
Of course it is.
because
You did so much living over there,
I
and I
did-
love it.
I made no bad calls up until the age of 18.
Yeah.
None were
so
made.
it was concentrated.
Yeah, it was concentrated from the year 1998 until I made some bad calls when I got back home. But anyway,
You were just getting it out of your system.
I am, exactly. Okay.
I am fascinated by UK Stacey. It's like a completely different person. We're just kind of getting to know.
It is, and here, I don't want to get too carried away, but here's the thing is before I did that adventure to the UK, I was going to youth group. I didn't hang out with boys. I was a very good kid. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do anything. And so all of a sudden I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm moving to England. They were like, what? And so then the minute you are meeting different people who are worldly, like Australians, people from New Zealand and Italy and Spain and stuff, all of a sudden opportunities arise and situations are there that weren't there in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I had to make up for lost time.
It was like the ending of Grease. Yeah.
Basically.
I imagine your family waved at you as you went through security, and then on the other side it was like the sweatpants came off and you had like the mini skirt underneath and the
Bye.
Yeah. As soon as you were out of sight, it was like, let's go. Let's go.
Let's
go.
Anyway.
Make some bad calls in England.
Yeah.
The Stacey Cooper story, the lost years.
Bad calls.
Stacey Cooper UK bad calls next week.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Well, let's just do bad calls because you've been
Okay,
have some too.
I just want to listen. I just want to I want to bring a coffee pot and brew a pot and just listen because you keep teasing me again. I don't know how many times you bury the lead. Where you're telling me some story about your time there, and then you throw this tiny little detail. Whoa!
That one
What?
time I was in a Thai
What?
jail just for the night. No.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
Well, not yet.
Anyway. Okay. Always a pleasure.
Always
Curtis.
a pleasure. Thank you so much. I look
Okay.
forward to this so much.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Cruise FM Out of Tune podcast. Check back for new episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at cruisefm.com.